He lived to be 105, and every morning he ate something most people overlook: fermented food. Dr. Shigeaki Hinohara believed health began with what nourished the gut, not just what filled the stomach. Fermented foods like miso, natto, and pickled vegetables were part of his daily routine for decades. They're rich in living bacteria that support digestion, reduce inflammation, and strengthen immunity, especially after 60. Modern science now explains why this habit works so well. As we age, our gut loses diversity. Fewer good bacteria mean weaker digestion, slower metabolism, and lower energy. Japanese fermented foods help restore that balance naturally. The fermentation process multiplies beneficial microorganisms like lactobacillus and bacillus subtilis, which improve nutrient absorption and calm chronic inflammation. For Dr. Hinohara, these foods weren't a medical prescription. They were a simple habit rooted in consistency. He often said health wasn't built on restriction, but on gentle, repeated care for the body every day. Unlike supplements or modern diets, fermented foods evolve as you eat them. They continue to live inside your gut, producing short-chain fatty acids that protect your colon and reduce joint inflammation. Studies in Japan have shown that seniors who eat fermented soy daily maintain higher bone density, lower inflammation markers, and better muscle retention. That's why doctors still recommend one small serving of fermented food with each meal. So, while many search for new anti-aging formulas, Japan has quietly followed this centuries-old habit. And it worked, just as it did for Dr. Hinohara, who proved that caring for the gut is caring for life itself. Dr. Hinohara's daily habits were not built on mystery. They were built on rhythm. He believed that consistency, not intensity, was what truly sustained health after 60. One of his quietest yet most powerful rituals was including fermented foods in his meals. Not for flavor or fashion, but because these living foods kept his body in constant renewal. Fermentation is simply nature's way of predigesting food. It breaks down complex nutrients into simpler forms that your body can absorb more easily, especially important as digestion slows with age. In Japan, this ancient process lives in everyday staples: miso paste from soybeans, natto made with friendly bacillus subtilis, and pickled vegetables preserved with rice bran or salt. Each one supports gut balance and reduces inflammation without the need for supplements. But you don't need to live in Japan to follow this principle. In the West, natural yogurt, kefir, sauerkraut, and kombucha carry the same living microorganisms. The only rule is to keep them real and unprocessed. Dr. Hinohara often reminded patients that food should make you feel light, not tired. Fermented foods achieve that by feeding your good gut bacteria, your body's invisible partners in health and aging. When these microbes thrive, they reduce inflammation, stabilize blood sugar, and even improve mood and focus. It's a simple biological chain. A balanced gut leads to better digestion, which leads to stronger immunity and clearer energy. Fermentation also helps preserve nutrients that would otherwise break down in storage. In a culture that values food waste reduction, this process became both practical and deeply aligned with Japanese respect for nature. Modern research now confirms what Japan has practiced for centuries, that a diet rich in fermented foods lowers inflammatory markers and supports longevity. This is not just tradition, it's biology in action. Even small servings, 1 tablespoon of miso, a few bites of natto, or a small glass of kefir can make measurable differences when consumed daily. It's not the quantity that matters most, but the consistency and the purity of the food. The wisdom of Dr. Hinohara's generation reminds us that longevity doesn't come from rare ingredients. It comes from small, repeatable habits that honor the body's natural processes. If you'd like to explore these foods and simple routines that protect gut, joints, and energy after 60, there's a gentle way to begin. Our guide, the Japanese Anti-Inflammatory Diet. After 60, gathers these lessons with practical recipes and easy adaptations for any kitchen. Fermentation is one of Japan's quietest forms of medicine, created not in labs, but in kitchens. It's a process where time, temperature, and natural microbes work together to turn simple foods into healing ones. When soybeans become miso or natto and vegetables become tsukemono, something powerful happens. Their natural bacteria multiply, producing enzymes and organic acids that repair the gut and lower inflammation. These foods are rich in probiotics, living microorganisms that help older adults digest better and absorb more nutrients. They also contain compounds that calm the immune system, easing pressure on joints and supporting brain clarity. Fermentation also makes food more sustainable. It preserves ingredients naturally without chemicals, keeping flavor and nutrition alive for months. For those outside Japan, the same principle applies with kefir, yogurt, kimchi, or sauerkraut, as long as they're unpasteurized and minimally processed. It's less about what you eat and more about how it's made and how often it appears on your plate. Small servings daily are enough to restore gut balance, support digestion, and keep inflammation low. It's proof that longevity isn't hidden in a single superfood, but in the living food that quietly works for you every day. For centuries, Japanese families relied on fermented foods without understanding the science behind them. Now research finally explains why these simple traditions worked so well for so long. Fermented foods are more than flavorful. They are biological powerhouses. When bacteria transform soy, rice, or vegetables, they create amino acids, antioxidants, and enzymes that protect cells from aging. One major discovery is that fermentation produces short-chain fatty acids, which reduce inflammation and strengthen the gut barrier. These compounds directly influence longevity, metabolism, and even cognitive clarity. Researchers at Kyoto and Osaka universities have found that people who consume fermented soy daily show lower C-reactive protein levels, a key marker of inflammation. In older adults, that means fewer joint problems, faster recovery, and better energy stability throughout the day. Fermentation also enhances nutrient absorption. Vitamin K2 from natto, for example, improves calcium transport and helps maintain bone density, a natural defense against fractures in aging adults. Even Western studies now link fermented foods to improved mental health. Gut bacteria communicate with the brain through the vagus nerve, influencing mood, focus, and resilience to stress. This is why Dr. Hinohara saw fermented foods not as medicine, but as a form of gentle alignment with nature. They support the body's internal ecology instead of fighting against it. Science, it seems, is only confirming what Japanese culture practiced intuitively. The future of healthy aging may not come from new discoveries, but from respecting the living wisdom already on our plates. Dr. Hinohara often said that true health doesn't come from doing more. It comes from doing less, but with purpose. His daily life was built on quiet consistency rather than dramatic effort. Every morning began early, often with a bowl of rice, miso soup, and tea, light, simple, and easy to digest. He believed that eating small, living foods gave his body space to work efficiently, not endlessly. After breakfast, he would walk, read, or meet patients. Movement and learning were his favorite medicine. He considered curiosity as vital to the body as nutrition was to the gut. Throughout the day, he practiced mindful eating, chewing slowly, savoring flavors, and stopping before fullness. He believed digestion started in the mind, and rushing through meals disturbed that balance. His dinners were lighter still, soups, vegetables, and fermented side dishes, foods that left him feeling clear, not heavy. Modern science now knows this reduces oxidative stress and keeps metabolism flexible even after 80. But what truly kept him strong wasn't just food. It was the harmony between eating, resting, and gratitude. He took time to appreciate his meals, his work, and even the people who grew his food. This rhythm, eat simply, move daily, think kindly, built resilience in both body and spirit. And while not everyone can live like him, anyone can borrow his principles. Eat what's alive, stop before excess, and stay curious every day. It's a lifestyle that aligns biology with gratitude, and it still works decades later. Because longevity, as Dr. Hinohara proved, isn't something you chase. It's something you quietly maintain. Dr. Hinohara's life reminds us that longevity isn't built in big leaps. It's built in small, living habits, repeated with care. Each bowl of miso, each walk, each quiet morning was part of a larger rhythm, feeding the body while calming the mind. Fermented foods were never his secret. They were his language of balance. By keeping the gut alive, he kept the rest of his body in quiet harmony. Today, science and tradition finally agree. Caring for your gut is caring for your future. You don't need to live in Japan to begin, just a spoon of something living every day. If you'd like to explore these foods, gentle routines, and simple recipes that protect your body after 60, our guide can help. The Japanese anti-inflammatory diet. After 60 gathers these timeless lessons in one calm place, just as Dr. Hinohara would have wanted.